Well, more than 3 months after the Muzaffarnagar riots in UP, which saw the displacement of more than 40,000 people to relief camps, horror stories of death and despair are sending shockwaves. Several babies have died from the cold, while basic medicines and blankets are missing as well. My colleague Anchal Vora reports.
The 400 riot-hit families in this relief camp in Loi village are the only ones left to be compensated, or so the UP government hopes. And they say that those in other camps, 925 families to be precise, are trying to get more.
They have come back to the camp.
Yes, just with a demand that it should not be the family under one roof which should be treated. It should be the each and single married person which should be treated as a family. However, that can never be the case, because according to the standard definition of a family, it's one house.
Wakilu says that for his family of 20, the government has promised 5 lakh rupees only for him. He has 5 sons and there's no compensation that has been announced so far for those 5 sons and their families.
These 925 families deny the administration's allegations and say they were never paid.
अभी तो हमारा कहीं नाम नहीं कुछ नहीं एक पैसा हमारे पास नहीं आया.
In other camps, people are still waiting for basic facilities like blankets and doctors. In Malakpur, officials admit that 8 people have died in the past month, most of them children. The organizer of the camp says the number of deaths is higher at 25. Abdul Ghaffar and his wife lost their 3-year-old son to the cold. Doctors, they say, have stopped visiting these camps while filth and disease have multiplied. Yet, fear holds them back from returning to their own homes. As the administration and caretakers of these relief camps quibble over the number of deaths here and their causes, it is undeniable that the living conditions at these camps are far from healthy. With Anchal Vora in Muzaffarnagar, Anusuya Mathur for NDTV.
Well, is there a lack of political will to deal with those who are living in these relief camps and sending them back home safely? Joining us tonight from the Samajwadi Party, Gaurav Bhatia. Also with us, Randeep Singh Surjewala of the Congress. Shahid Siddiqui, well-known commentator, joins us this evening. And Harsh Mandar, who has just, in fact, come back. And Mr. Mandar, let me begin with you. We're just getting a sense of how horrific the situation there is on the ground. You're going to be releasing a report tomorrow on the state of these camps. Just how bad is it?
It is actually terrible. It's so distressing. I'll just sort of highlight a few things. One is that it's barely 3 months, but the government has forcefully closed down all camps. So officially,
they
don't exist. Now people are really frightened to go back. All attempts of people, there was one incident where people went to their fields as agricultural workers. They were three men were killed. People going on their ferries are being intimidated. People are being harassed for their beards, etc. On buses, they suffer indignities. The sense of fear and hatred, social economic boycott is very high. So people are unwilling to return home. In these circumstances, the government should not close down a camp. It has to create an atmosphere where people willingly go home. Now, if you forcefully disband camps, what has happened is that people are left to their own devices. Those who can afford a little more are going and living with some relatives, etc. But many of them are just in the open, in these camps, with the state abdicating all further responsibility.
Is that the biggest failing that the state has made, that it hasn't been able to create that atmosphere for people to go back?
Absolutely.
Even 3 months later.
It is the duty of the state to build reconciliation. But I think that even more, there are about 6,000 accused people named in FIRs. This district magistrate himself admitted, and only 200 odd have been arrested so far. Now, they say that every time they go for the arrest, the police claims that women
come and shield them.
How do women know that you're going to arrive? I mean, is the police incapable of arresting people? How do you feel a sense of belonging as equal citizens to be able to go back? And the most foolish thing that the government has done, I think it's unprecedented. They're giving a 5 lakh one-time compensation to people who say we don't go back home. So in fact, you're almost incentivizing ethnic cleansing. So I think, I just don't understand how.
Very strong words there from you, Mr. Mandar. I'll take that to Gaurav Bhatia. Gaurav, you've heard the scathing criticism there from Mr. Mandar, who's just come back from and seen the situation on the ground. How would you respond? Has the state abdicated its responsibility in UP?
Nidhi, I would first like to start by saying that please don't treat my government, the Samajwadi Party or myself as an adversary who's trying to defend anything. It is my duty to first point out what the state government has done so far, and I was just noting down what the panelists said, that if there are deficiencies, the state government is committed to ensure that proper medical facilities and all equipment is provided to all the persons who are still there in the camp. But what the state government has done, starting from the beginning, first of all the family members of the deceased were provided financial.
Gaurav,
Okay, I will answer that first.
One is
Okay.
the forceful
Yes,
closure
I'll
of the
answer that
camps.
first.
The fact that you haven't been able to create an
Yes.
atmosphere to allow people to go back without fear, and this compensation of 5 lakh rupees to not go
Yes.
back home. These are the 3 key points.
And no arrests.
And no arrests.
First of all, regarding the closure of camps, I would like to point out that there has been no forceful closure of any camp. There were 58 camps around the end of September where 50,000 people were there in those camps. Due to the efforts of the state government and due to confidence building measures of the state government, now the latest figure is that around 1,070 persons are still there in the Loi camp. And only one
That's
camp
it.
remains. The state government has not forced anybody to go out of the camp, but willingly people decided to go back to their respective houses.
Gaurav,
After
I've just
that,
come back
second
from
concern
there.
was of the infants. Let me complete myself and you will get an opportunity. I heard you. I'm just trying to address your concerns by the official data that I have. And if anything is missing, you please inform
But
the
then
government.
there's a
of me.
very
I'll
basic
ensure
conflict
that
here
the
with the
needful
data,
is done.
Gaurav, because Shahid Siddiqui come in here, you
No,
and Harsh Mandar.
let me first place the data.
Because
Nidhi,
you're,
let
okay,
me first place
quickly.
the data.
Yeah.
Let me first place the
We
data.
have been hearing this data
Secondly,
for 3 months.
when I heard about infants losing their life because of the cold there, even the Honorable Chief Minister was concerned. And therefore, we wanted to know whether there are doctors still in the camp. There are 3 doctors permanently there in the camp.
No.
They're not.
Blankets are being distributed.
They're
They were
not.
distributed earlier also. And special woolen clothes have been given to children.
But Gaurav,
We
so
don't
that they
have
our
don't
own
official
share
camp.
food.
our
All
own
of them.
reporters have been to the camps, and I'll bring Shahid Siddiqui in here, and they've seen the opposite. Now there's a huge difference here between
No,
what the SP
Nidhi,
government
I
is
just
saying.
wanted to place.
Yeah, sure, but Shahid,
See,
why do you
there
dispute
are
those numbers? Because these are official numbers, as Gaurav says.
I will not dispute anything because they have been saying this for last 3 months. Their whole objective is to get the camps closed and to show that everything is normal, which it is not. They have failed to arrest the culprits, and not only that, women who were raped during the riots, after the riots, in the camps, outside the camps, no FIRs, proper FIRs have been lodged, people have not been arrested. The laws which are being applied here for Tarun Tejpal do not apply in Muzaffarnagar. We are talking of communal violence bill. What will a bill do when the intentions of the government are suspect? And the team they had sent, the Samajwadi team which had gone there, their ministers, including Mr. Shivpal Yadav, they had said, there are too many facilities in the camp, therefore
Yes.
people don't want to go back. Their condition is much
Nidhi,
better
may I
than their
please
homes,
respond to
and
that?
that's why they did not supply. They have not been providing any medical help. I told the Chief Minister when I met them and during the NIC meeting, I told them that medical help is not there, doctors are not there, mobile dispensaries are not there. They said no, everything has been provided. That what Mr. Gaurav is saying, they have been saying this all along. Nothing has been done, and there is a whole atmosphere of fear among the people. Not only those who are living in the camps, even those who are living in their homes in Muzaffarnagar and around there.
But I have
they
a
are
question
living
for
in
the
a
Congress party here. Gaurav, I'll
situation
let
of
you
fear.
respond to that. I'll let you
Nidhi,
respond
I
to
would
that.
like
Gaurav,
to
one
just come
second.
in.
I'll let you respond to that, but I want to ask the Congress party, which is your ally. You are technically allies, Mr. Surjewala. The point is, why are these not political issues? Why are these issues that are not then raised in the mainstream by, for instance, the Congress party? Or is it just such a political hot potato involving particular communities that even the Congress is not going to raise it?
Nidhi, there are 3 facts which are extremely clear, and your visuals also show that. First, the Uttar Pradesh government failed at the time of riots to take effective steps to prevent the riots. Post riots, the situation in the camp has been far from satisfactory. There are issues of sanitation, there are issues of health, there are issues of provision of adequate compensation, there are issues of livelihood, there are issues of rehabilitation, there are issues of providing adequate amenities to weather the changing weather, the cold weather, and there are issues of basic hygiene for the children. I suppose UP government has a lot to answer for that. Thirdly, which Mr. Harsh Mandir has also pointed out to you, and I think Shahid Siddiqui ji also did, what Uttar Pradesh government and its young chief minister needs to do is to take stock of all the offences that have taken. You cannot as state hide behind an explanation that police cannot enter and arrest the culprits, because if that happens, then the law and order machinery would fail. They need to get their act together.
My point is, why is this not an issue for the Congress party to raise the way you raise Gujarat? The way why not? Why isn't this something that is raised?
The very fact, Nidhi, that I'm saying so very forthrightly on your channel today, for everybody to hear, this is the issue that Congress party has been raising on the field, has been raising in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and I, with a sense of responsibility, say today, UP government needs to act against the culprits, arrest those who are accused, ensure proper compensation, ensure rehabilitation, ensure sanitation, ensure livelihood, and ensure that the communal divide that has been created gets sorted out, those lines get erased,
well, most
and
of the
people
darts are
start normal lives.
always
If there
targeted
was
at the
communal
BJP, not at the
violence
Samajwadi Party.
this
Shahid, there's a
would
quick
not have
point, and then
happened.
Gaurav, yes.
Yes. You see, Nidhi, everybody is playing politics in Muzaffarnagar.
Of course.
From Narendra Modi to Mr. Mulayam Singh to Congress people, everybody, nobody is really concerned about the situation on the ground level, and that's where we have to see how Muzaffarnagar is different from Gujarat. If it is not, then with what moral right do we have just to point fingers at Mr. Modi?
And you've seen both.
Yes.
So is it comparable?
Yes,
It is completely comparable, and the distress. Gujarat also forcefully closed the camps after 6 months. Here they were closed before 3 months were over.
FIR also same thing.
And I do want to say, of course, to Mr. Surjewala, is that when we talk to who has come here to help you, they said that no congressman has also come to help them.
Yes.
No one has come to bridge the divide. I think we all need to take collective responsibility. We can't play politics with people divided on religious grounds.
Okay.
Everybody stands guilty.
Gaurav, your response to those criticisms then?
Yeah. Now, Nidhi, I will again emphasize on the fact that please, if certain facts are coming out in the open, we need to verify them. And I assure on behalf of the state government that if there is any person who needs assistance or help of any sort, the state government is duty bound, and as we are doing, we will provide all the help. If these camps were shut down, it was only because people volunteered to step out of the camp.
Now you are admitting the camps were shut down? Now you admit they were shut down because you just said they weren't?
No, I'm telling you, what did I say, Nidhi? Please pay attention. I said that in all, maximum there were 50 odd camps. At the peak in September, 58,
there were no camps, in fact.
When people decided to voluntarily go back, then all the camps were shut down because there were no persons living in those camps. But it is very important, since question about hygiene and health care has been raised. In Muzaffarnagar alone, 20,500 people
Gaurav, Harsh Mandir has just come back from Muzaffarnagar.
I've just come back.
Yeah, like a day ago.
Yeah, so that's why I don't wish to point fingers at anybody. If Mr. Mandar has come back, he may provide me with that data, and I assure that if there is any person who's not getting necessary assistance, the state government would ensure that he gets that. And that is the approach of the state government. Why should we fight over it?
Mr. Mandar, would you give your presentation to Akhilesh Yadav?
I'm really happy to go there and to explain to them, but my basic point is that the state administration should be there, the chief minister should be there, and don't close down camps. Assure people that we are with you as long as we need to. Arrest people, create a climate of, I mean, this is not rocket science. I've seen and handled many riots. I'm speaking with a sense of responsibility. I do feel that the state administration could have done a great deal more to heal the divide, to prevent the violence, to heal the divide and to ensure basic relief, and finally to ensure justice. And I think we need to do a lot more. So please
no, Mr.
accept
Mandar,
that.
even if I don't agree with you that the state government would have done better, but I still request you that please furnish whatever data you have, whoever is suffering and needs state assistance, and we would ensure that that person or family or whoever that group of persons is get the necessary assistance in terms of medical facility or financial help or any other thing that is required.
Why, sir, but Randeep Surjewala, why aren't Congress politicians going there? As Mr. Mandar says, locals there are saying nobody from the Congress party has come to visit us.
Absolutely.
This is something that should cut across party lines. This is a humanitarian issue, but it's so deeply political as well in this country.
Nidhi, I absolutely agree, and I just want to tell your viewers, as also to Mr. Harsh Mandir, that all our leaders have been there and they have been visiting various camps. They have also been assisting those who have lost their families. They have also assisted with rehabilitation of many families in many camps. In one particular isolated camp, he may not have found a Congress leader. I cannot vouchsafe for that. However, Congress cadre in the entire western UP, bereft of the religious divide, has been there and has been working on the ground. I also want to tell my friend from Samajwadi Party just one line, that the government of the day also has an onerous responsibility. I think we have a young chief minister. We have lots of hope from him. He should have been there on the ground. He should have been visiting the camps. Except
Mr.
for going there once, Shri Akhilesh Yadav did not go there again. I'm not trying to be critical. I'm only giving a suggestion that if Chief Minister was to go there more than once, if your ministers were to go there, if your collectors and party
I'm giving a last word to Shahid
there,
Siddiqui on
it
this.
would have helped.
Okay, all right. You're saying it would have helped if the Chief Minister had gone, which I think many can't argue with. Yes,
It's not a question of data.
1 second, Gaurav.
It's not a question of data. It's a question of political will and the attitude
Yes, that's the
of the
question we're
administration.
asking.
And if you look at today's Indian Express, they have given a report. It's not me who is saying this. That the women who were raped, in their cases, please let me finish. In their cases, FIRs have not been lodged. The people who were named have not been arrested. While the new rape laws say that if the people have been named, they should be immediately arrested. Why?
No, if you want,
the
I can
atmosphere
show
of
you all the action that has
fear
been
remains,
taken
and as a
in
result,
terms
people
of
cannot go home.
registering
It's all
Gaurav.
related. It's all connected.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's an atmosphere of confidence and security which has to be created if you really want peace in Muzaffarnagar. If you really want people to go back home.
Gaurav, tomorrow Harsh Mandar is going to release the findings that his group has come with on the state of these camps. Let's see what those details are. You say that the state government is willing to act on those. Mr. Mandar, if you want to take that to Akhilesh Yadav.
I assure you on behalf of the state government.
That you will act on it.
Okay,
let's see, because we're not letting go of this story. We will continue to follow it up. I have to leave it at that tonight, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's see whether the UP government follows up on that promise and takes a look at your findings more seriously. We'll see you all again tomorrow. Good night.